I stole this blue sweater from my older sister, and she knows she's not getting it back. I'm sorry. I can't. I just like telling like little random bits about like what's going on like right at the beginning of the video. It's just, I don't know. There's another creator that I follow that she does the same thing. And she's actually very inspirational to me. I love watching her content. I love just, listening to what she has to talk about. She's very engaging. She's a great inspiration to me. If you watch her content, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But she has like just the most random intros, and I love it. So today's stories are Tales from the Front Desk. First story is by Other Cantaloupe 4765. But I stay here all the time. Just change the dates on it, she says about the reservation she made for yesterday. Jenny doesn't stay here all the time, but she has stayed here a handful of times in the past year. Enough that I recognize her name on my arrivals list and we're on friendly terms. She comes in, says she has a reservation. I can't find it. So I expand my search to include the next week, since most people who mess up end up with a reservation a few days in the future. Nope, nothing. So I checked the last week. Lo and behold, there it is. Her reservation was for yesterday. And here's the kicker. It was canceled yesterday afternoon too, because her credit card declined when the morning shift tried to authorize it, and she never contacted us to provide a new one. I let her know that she's accidentally booked a room for yesterday, and she gets mad about it. I hate when people get mad about booking their reservation for the wrong date. Like, babe, you're the one who booked it. Oh, why are you yelling at me? She rolled her eyes and said, so what? Just change the dates to today. I can't change the dates for a reservation from a past date, but I can make you a new one. You'd think that would be obvious, but apparently not. Seriously, I stay here all the time. You've checked me in the last 4 times I've stayed here, and you're refusing to change the dates? Look, you made it for yesterday. I can't fix a reservation that's made before today. Just switch the dates on it. I told you it's literally not possible. You're the one making this difficult. It's not my fault you're having a bad day. Now this time, I was the one rolling my eyes. You're the one who booked a room for yesterday. It's not my fault you messed up the dates. I can make you a new one. That's it. Fine, do it then. I didn't speak to her for the rest of the check-in. She really ticked me off. But a few hours later, she came back to the desk. I looked up and saw her, and I mentally groaned because I thought she'd come back to complain about something. So I eyed her warily and waited for her to say something. She started with, I just need to apologize for the way that I spoke to you earlier. It's been a really long day, and I was frustrated. I shouldn't have taken that out on you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry too. I know I could have handled that a little bit better than I did. Can we shake on it? And we shook on it. I wished her good night, and she went back to her room. If I had a nickel for every time a guest apologized to me after being rude, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice and happened so close together. To be honest, it's kind of unsettling that it happened already again, but hey, I'll take it. So if they tell you that something can't be changed, let's look for, instead of blaming a person who has no bearing on how that program works or anything like that, let's say, is there another way around this? Okay? As many women in my family have said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Why we're skinning the cat? I don't know. But apparently there's more than one way to do so. So, if somebody says that, hey, that particular thing is impossible, instead of being mad that that's impossible, say, let's find another way around it. That will help you out with so many situations. And I'm really glad that this lady came back and apologized to the front desk agent about her behavior, and that the front desk agent apologized back for what she said. I think that could have been the best outcome after everything that happened earlier. I've had customers apologize to me before for how they started off a call, and it really makes my day. It really makes my day, because it's just like, okay, like, you know that you were kind of being out of pocket, but I understand that you're frustrated, but at least you apologized. So, next story. I don't know what's wrong with me. So the next story is by Frenchie Nerd. The sheets are too white and the lights are too strong. It's a brutal back to work after my 2 days off. Midweek November evenings are usually dead quiet, but can also attract the most weird guests. Karen checked in yesterday. She lives in the next city, 15 minutes from here. She's alone and she paid cash. There's already a note on file about cigarette smell. A few red flags right there. She came earlier to complain about the fact that the sheets were white, which make them way too easy to stain, according to her. It's dumb that we have white sheets, and why do we have white sheets, she asked. She came back again, and I just spent 10 minutes arguing with her about the lights of the pool that are too strong. I tried to explain to her that the lights stay on until we close the pool, and then we turn them off. Why does it have to be so complicated? Just come and see. You have to dim those lights. Madam, I cannot dim them. We turn them on when it gets dark, and we turn them off when we close the pool. But I can't relax with such strong lights. You have to dim them. Madam, I cannot dim them. Okay, so you don't work here often if you don't know how to dim them. I've been here for full time for 1.5 years. It's the first time I've gotten a complaint about the pool lights. Complaint. How rude. You're so judgmental. It's a simple request. Then she went off rambling about how people are always judging. What else is this week going to bring? Oh my goodness. So there are lots of things about staying at a hotel that it's not your personal space. You may have to deal with some minor annoyances because it's multiple people jam-packed in a building. That's all there is to it. It's multiple people jam-packed in a building, and the building has their own rules and stuff for things that they'd like to do. Oh my goodness. Oh, my tinnitus. It's still there, but it's not as bad. But if you can't dim them, you can't dim them. That's all that it is. And it it frustrates me when customers, when you tell a customer that, hey, this is how we handle things, and they go, no, you're wrong. You can't have worked here for that long. And, how long do I have to work here to know that we turn the pool lights off when they close? That's frustrating. It's frustrating to be told that, you don't know how things operate when you're the one who operates all of them, and they have nothing to do with it, and then they tell you you don't know what you're talking about. But I guess it is what it is. Last story, and this one is a doozy. So, username, Tasheus, hope I pronounced that right, hostage situation. This happened a couple of months ago, and I know I mentioned it in a comment, but I'm finally taking the time to sit down and write it out. Here it goes. Buckle up, Buttercup, because this is a wild ride. I'm a full-time night auditor for a motel that has a high electric bill because they always leave the light on. I wake up at 8 p.m. to begin talking myself into going to work for the night. While doing so, I see that a friend has sent me a link to a news video. Open it up to see that they are talking about an ongoing hostage situation. Wait a minute, I recognize that parking lot. Holy crap, that's my motel. I quickly get ready and head out about an hour and a half early to see what's what. Get to work and notice that the floodlights on the roof and the parking lot lights are all off. Also, all the doors on the front of the building are standing open, and all the guests are milling around on the property line. This was a sold-out night. Turns out a woman rented 3 rooms for herself and her family members, and my coworker let her rent those rooms with only her ID on all of the rooms. A huge no-no. We're supposed to have ID on file for everyone over 18. Well, in one of those rooms were a couple and their 2 children, an infant and a 3-year-old boy. I guess the parents were arguing and doing meh. I can't say that. Math. And the guy started to physically handle the woman. She grabbed her infant and fled, leaving her 3-year-old son in the room with her husband. She shoved the baby into the arms of another random female guest who was standing outside smoking a cigarette and yelled to call 911 and ran off. Since she had a black eye, the lady called 911. Turns out the mother called 911 as well, but still just ran away, leaving her infant with the stranger. The mother told dispatch that her husband pistol whipped her and was holding their 3-year-old hostage. That got the police there quickly. The police and SWAT team made every other guest in the entire hotel leave their rooms and began negotiations to get the boy out and arrest the dad. For the next 15 and a half hours, negotiators took over the lobby with the fire department sitting in the back office while they tried to get him to surrender. They drilled a hole in the wall of the room next door and were able to get some sort of camera in there, and were watching this man sit on the bed next to his 3-year-old son with his arm around the child's shoulder while still doing math. They were finally able to talk this man out just after midnight, and I got to spend most of my shift processing refunds or free nights for all the people who were made to sit on the curb at the edge of the property. Also, when the cops finally cleared out, they left one heck of a mess. My small lobby was full of empty pizza boxes and half-full water, Gatorade bottles, and they left empty pizza boxes and drink bottles on the ground and in the bushes from one side of the property to the other. Although the SWAT commander was pretty hot. The weirdest part, the lady who originally rented those 3 rooms came back the next day and wanted a refund for the night. She also didn't understand why she was on the DNR. I'm gonna guess that that means do not rent or do not reserve. So there you go. So now my coworkers and I have all gotten subpoenas and apparently may have to testify. So this story was an absolutely crazy one. I'm going to look aside for the point that the storyteller seemed to think that the woman should not have handed her infant off to someone safe and tell them to call 911 while she went back for her other child. You get the most vulnerable out first. And now, me being the person that I am, and I'm a pretty chunky girl. I got some strong arms. If I had an infant and a 3-year-old, I'd be carrying both of them. I don't care if I had to do a fireman's carry them like a sack of flour. We all getting out at the same time. But dude did have a little pew pew, so you can't judge somebody for how they react in a situation like this. She did the best that she could, getting the infant out, and then she went back for the 3-year-old. But by that time, dude had already locked the room and locked her out of the room. But at least they got the boy out safe. But the whole moral of this story for me is Don't do illicit substances, kids. That's it. Just don't do them. They will mess up your life and the lives of people around you. So, sorry to end this one on such a weird note. I really appreciate anyone who has stuck around this long for the end of the stories, and listening to me rant and ramble, and I do have, like, outlines and stuff like that, and, just getting it together a little bit more cohesive. Once I figure out what to do with that daggone microphone and where I'm gonna plug that up at, we'll see. Oh my goodness. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. My name is Kelly. I'll see you later. Bye.